Danny Carino says in the chat, we can't be a good rebounding team without being a more physical team. Let's hope the new additions make us more physical on that end when it comes to the rebounding. And the one thing that a lot of people discussed in the offseason before this maybe untraditional kind of 5-man unit that they're going to have as a starting, at least for right now, the starting 5, is that they don't have a big-time 4, a big 4-man with the physicality like we see with some guys in the past, where it was Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Rasheed Wallace, Kevin Garnett, these names that Tim Duncan, Chris Webber, traditional power forwards that are going to take care of that type of responsibility. And right now you have 3 wings that we like as a group and as a unit, but are they going to do exactly what Kyle and Derek are talking about by going out there and collectively crashing that glass? The same thing that Ernest is talking about, because that's going to be a big point of emphasis where you didn't get that big power forward in the offseason. You got Yabusele may not play enough. He may not play at all to answer.
Yeah, we have no idea. Like, I think a lot of people started penciling him in because he looks like their idea of like, this is what they need.
Yep.
But we don't even know if he's going to play, right? No. Like, I think he hopes so. I think a lot of people are like, he fills a need, therefore he will play. But that's not necessarily what Nick Nurse is going to do. Training camp and preseason will be very telling.
I also don't want to give him an out because they're starting 3 wings. Because it's not like there are that many teams starting traditional power forwards.
I agree.
Teams aren't starting, Chris Webber at power forward anymore. And specifically, the team that whooped their butts on the glass was not starting a traditional power forward.
Their traditional power forward was in street clothes.
Well, yeah. But the guy that was really killing them was a 6'5" shooting guard.
Yes.
And also their center pursues offensive rebounds more. Their backup center before he got hurt pursued offensive rebounds more. It is a collective team effort. I think the way to solve it is not necessarily to go out and get a traditional power forward, because that comes with it a lot of, downsides as well. But you've just there's only so much Nick Nurse can do. I do think this is a personnel issue, not so much in they need taller players, but they need players who just pursue rebounds more aggressively and more consistently. I think it's more of a makeup and a player style thing and a scouting thing and whatnot than it is something you can very easily, you're not going to make someone a great rebounder by hammering it in drills too much. You make them great rebounders by going out and getting guys who are just naturally aggressive rebounders.
Do you see anybody in that starting 5 outside of Embiid that could do that? Could Caleb Martin be that?
Kelly loves fighting people for rebounds.
Yes.
That's after they have it.
No, actually, I didn't say this earlier, but since I just was having a joke at Kelly's expense, I want to, Phil W., wherever you are, timestamp this. I think Kelly Oubre is going to be a really important conduit this year after the season he had and having to absorb all these minimum or low salary role players, where Kelly came out of last season, comes in as a minimum guy. I wouldn't necessarily say it's his last NBA chance, right? But once you're a minimum guy after being a big money guy, it's you're running out of opportunities.
Yeah.
So he comes in as that type of player, buys into what Nick Nurse is selling, and has a great individual year, one of his best team-centric years ever, if not the best, and gets his new contract. And after the season, as we're talking to him, it's Nick is a really smart guy. I love playing for him, all that. And I think his story and his voice is important for those guys who are coming here to be look, maybe you won't have the same opportunity I had right away, where he got thrust into the starting lineup. And that was, not exactly the expectation, I think, when they signed him. But if you just take your opportunity and do what this coach and this coaching staff asks, there's a lot in front of you. You can carve out a really nice role for yourself here. You can make yourself some money in the future. And as much as Nick will impress those things upon these guys as they come in and they're in camp and whatnot, it always does mean a little bit more if it can come from another one of your teammates. And they can actually show you, look, I changed how I played. My approach was different, and I bought in to what this coach said, and it paid off for me immediately.
Yep.
I immediately got a bigger opportunity. I immediately got a bump in my pay for the next season. And so Kelly being able to tell that story in the locker room, I think should help Nick and the rest of the coaching staff as they do try to figure these things out and jostle the lineups this year.
Yeah, he is one that they're going to count on. Remember, you're the fourth and fifth option on the offensive end, so your role is totally different. Go ahead and get those rebounds both defensively and offensively. And that's how you're going to stay on the floor. Outside of the shot-making part, that's exactly what it is. It's just that effort and going out there and getting it. And once again, that's not on Nick Nurse. That's on the players to go out there and do it. Now, we'll see when things go haywire and he has to make those substitutions and you call on some of the others. Kyle Lowry, great rebounder for his position, a little bit older. Jared McCain in college and in high school, very good rebounder for his position. That stuff for Jared McCain, whenever he does take the floor, it may not translate because there are going to be much better players than we saw in the summer league that are out there on the floor. But they're like, dude, if you don't get out of here, not passing that Kyle Neubeck height test, you don't get out of here, you're not getting this rebound, buddy.
We all silly like the mayor.